tonight, Speaker Gombe State House of Assembly Abubakar Mohammed Lagore warmly felicitate with the good people of Gombe State and Nigerians at large on the occasion of the New Year 2026. The former governor, Senator Abdulaziz Yari, has joined thousands to mourn the loss of 7 journalists in tragic accident in Gombe State. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has declared that 2026 marks the beginning of a more robust phase of economic growth for Nigeria. Good evening and welcome to 25 News Report. My name is Ibrahim Tal. Gombe State Governor Muhammadu Inuwa Yahaya will host a live media chat from 7:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. today. According to a press statement from the Director General of Gombe Government House, Ismaila Ubamisli, revealed that the 1-hour 30-minute program will be broadcast live on GMC TV NTA Gombe via Star Times and Nikon Sat, GMC Radio 91.9 FM, Progress Radio 97.3 FM, Amana Radio 98.1 FM, Vision FM 92.7 FM, FRCN Joel FM 103.5 FM. The media chat will also be streamed live on YouTube and on social media platforms including Gombe Press Affairs, Hausa, Gombe Media and Publicity, Abdullah Shekin, as well as other online platforms. The quarterly media engagement provides an opportunity for the governor to brief citizens on critical development in the state and to interact directly with the public on key issues of governance. This edition of the media chat is being hosted by Gombe Media Corporation, GMC. The Speaker of the Gombe State House of Assembly, retired Honorable Abubakar Mohammed Lagore, has felicitated with the people of Gombe State and Nigerian at large on the occasion of the New Year 2026. This was contained in a statement issued by the Press Secretary of the Speaker, Jafet Bekeri Idi. Abubakar Lagore expressed gratitude to Almighty Allah for his guidance, protection and blessings throughout the past years, describing the new year as another opportunity for renewed commitment to peace, unity and sustainable development in Gombe State and the nation. The Speaker commended the Executive Governor of Gombe State, Alhaji Muhammadu Inuwa Yahaya, CON, for his exemplary leadership and the cordial working relationship between the legislature and the executive, noting that the collaboration has continued to promote good governance, accountability and people-oriented development across the state. He also appreciated members of the 7th Assembly and the people of Gombe State for their continued support to Inuwa Yahaya administration, describing their cooperation and prayers as key to the steady progress being recorded in the state. Abubakar Lagore reaffirmed the commitment of the Gombe State House of Assembly to enacting progressive laws, providing effective oversight and representing the interests of the people with diligence and integrity in line with democratic principles. He prayed that the new year will usher in renewed hope, peace, prosperity, inclusive development for Gombe State and the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The leadership of the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, Gombe State chapter, has donated food items and clothing to Destiny Kids Orphanage Home in Federal Locust, Gombe. The donation was led by the CAN chairman, Reverend Father Joseph Alphonsus Shinga. During the presentation, Reverend Shinga said the gesture was part of Governor Muhammadu Inuwa Yahaya's goodwill to the Christian community during Christmas and New Year celebration. He added that the visit was also aimed at sharing in joy of the children, supporting them as they celebrate the New Year and encouraging them to remain disciplined and committed to their education for a brighter future. Also speaking, Evangelist Ishia Kubello, Chairman, Christian Advocacy for Peace and Politics Group, Gombe State, commended the management of orphanage for their dedication and sacrifice, urging the children to make good use of the items presented as they celebrate the festive season. In a response, the coordinator of Destiny Kids Orphanage, Evangelist Hawaii Haya, represented by the administrative officer, Mr. Paddy Richard Bala, expressed gratitude to the leadership of CAN Gombe for the gesture. She also commended Governor Muhammadu Inuwa for his inclusive leadership and pledged the orphanage continuous support and cooperation with his administration. Some of the children who spoke to our reporter expressed joy over the visit and prayed for God's blessing upon the donors. Items presented include bags of rice, cartons of macaroni, clothing. The chairman of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, NUJ Bauchi State Council, Comrade Said Umar, has led a delegation to Gombe State to commensurate with the NUJ Gombe State Council over the tragic death of journalists. Comrade Umar described the incident as painful loss affecting journalists across Bauchi and Gombe State, stressing that anything that touches Gombe touches Bauchi. Stressing that anything that touches Gombe, I beg your pardon, touches Bauchi. He prayed for the quick recovery of those receiving medical treatment and urged the families of the deceased to accept the loss as the will of God Almighty. The Bauchi delegation also visited Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Gombe, where they were received by the general manager to condole with this station over the loss of its staff. Comrade Umar appreciated the NUJ national president for personally receiving the delegation. In his response, the national president of the NUJ, Comrade Alassane Yahaya, thanked the Bauchi State Council for the condolence visit and solidarity. He affirmed the union's commitment to improving journalists' welfare, particularly in remuneration, living condition, and health insurance. Comrade Yahaya also commended Gombe State Governor Mahmoud Inuaya for his prompt support to the families of the deceased and those undergoing treatment. He called on journalists nationwide to uphold unity and professionalism while appreciating NUJ Council for their support during the difficult period. Former Zamfara State Governor Abdulaziz Yari has joined thousands of Nigerians in mourning the death of 7 journalists who lost their lives in a tragic road accident in Gombe State. In a condolence statement signed by Abdul Razak Kaura, the media aide of his political organization, Senator Yari expressed deep sorrow over the incident and described the loss as devastating to the nation. Kaura, also who served as the zonal secretary of Zone A of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, NUJ, said the death of 7 journalists at once represent a monumental loss to Nigerians' development and the media profession. The statement extended condolences to the president of the NUJ, the Gombe State Council of the NUJ, the families of the deceased journalists, and the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Gombe. Prayers were also offered for the peaceful repose of the souls of the departed and speedy recovery for those injured in the accident. The wife of the Minister of Transportation, Hajia Zainab Saidu Ahmed Al-Khali, has paid a thank you visit to the Emir of Gombe, Alhaji Abubakar Shehu Abubakar III, following her conferment with the traditional title Sadongin Gombe. Speaking at the palace, the district head of Funakai, Alhaji Yakubu Kweranga, described the confirmation as well-deserved honor, commending the Emir for recognizing the woman noted for her humanitarian service and support to vulnerable families across Gombe State. He said Hajia Zainab Saidu Al-Khali compassion for the masses and commitment to community development made her worthy of the title. Speaking on behalf of the Saidu Ahmed Al-Khali family, the Magajin Gari of Gombe, Alhaji Bala Magaji, thanked the Emir for the honor, assuring continuous support for the new Sadongi Gombe in carrying out the responsibility of the title. Our response, the newly turban Sodangi Gombe Hajia Adiza Zainab Saidu Al-Khali expressed gratitude to the Emir, describing the title as a call to greater service and responsibility that requires prayers and a dedication. The ceremony attracted dignitaries, traditional rulers, as well wishers from within and outside Gombe State. The Bajude community in Kwame local government area of Gombe State has commended the chairman of the council, Dr. Ahmed Wali Duho, for what it described as notable developmental achievement recorded under his administration. The commendation was made during a courtesy visit to the chairman's office by members of the community led by Engineer Muhammad Ibrahim Tafida, who is also the district head of Bajude. He said the community had benefited from several projects executed by the local governments, describing them as dividend of a democracy. Engineer Tafida listed some of the projects to include the installation of a 500 kVA transformer and the renovation of a primary school at Bale, among other interventions, noting that the achievement informed the community decision to formally express its appreciation.
za a ce godiya ma haramun bane balle ko da addini. Yau ko da safe ina ji shugaban majalisar malamai na kwamin yamma yana faɗakarwa a masallaci.
Also speaking, the chairman of Bajude Development Association Alhaji Kabiru Abdullah Bajude said Dr. Ahmed Wali was following the development-oriented policies of Governor Mahmoud Inuaya by prioritizing the needs of rural communities. In his response, the chairman of Kwame Local Government Area, Dr. Ahmed Wali Aduhu, described the visit as a pleasant surprise and a symbol of renewed unity and cooperation between the community and the local government. He called on residents to continue supporting government efforts to enable the execution of more developmental projects. The event attracted large turnout of community members as well as well wishes. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has declared that 2026 marks the beginning of more robust phase of economic growth for Nigerians, expressing optimism that the gains from ongoing reforms will increasingly benefit ordinary citizens. The president made this known on Thursday in his New Year message to Nigerians, where he reflected on the country's economic performance in 2025 and outlined priorities for the year ahead. Welcoming Nigerians to the new year, Tinubu said 2026 will be a more prosperous year for the nation, its citizens and all residents, noting that his administration remains confident in the country's collective resolve to overcome challenges. According to the president, the government sustained momentum on major reforms throughout 2025, including a fiscal reset that contributed to steady economic progress despite persistent global economic headwinds. He said the country recorded tangible and measurable gains, particularly in the economy. Tinubu said, adding that the outcomes of affirmed the administration believed that the difficult but necessary reforms were yielding positive results, with more concrete benefit expected for ordinary Nigerians. Looking ahead, the president said the focus in 2026 will be on consolidating existing gains while building a resilient, sustainable, inclusive, and growth-oriented economy. Tinubu noted that Nigeria closed 2025 on a strong footing, recording a robust quarterly gross domestic product (GDP) growth despite policies aimed at curbing inflation. He added that annual GDP growth was expected to exceed 4% for the year. Religious leaders in Burundi have called on Nigerians to intensify prayers for the divine intervention as the country enters the year 2026. Speaking during the New Year message, the Reverend in charge of Ekwa Church, Burundi, Reverend Haruna Dudu Ahmed Ibrahim of Kokin Church, LCC, Yelwambugu, and Dr. Tawasi Akuye of New Covenant Combined Anglican Church, Yelenguruza, described 2026 as a year of hope and blessings. They urge citizens to speak forgiveness, abandon negative attitudes, respect elders, and continue praying for peaceful coexistence across the country. The clerics express hope that Nigeria will experience positive change with peace prevailing throughout the nation in the year ahead.
Mu cire kanmu daga ayyuka na mugunta, ayyuka na keta, ayyuka na fasikanci, da ayyuka na neman zub da jini na marasa laifi.
The religion leader also advised youth to engage in small-scale businesses to become self-reliant and contribute meaningful to nation building. They further cautioned politicians against using youths to carry out political activities that could disrupt the prevailing peace. In the separate contribution, Reverend Ezra Jacob and Jedison Shaulu John thanked God for the gift of life to witness the new year 2026, noting that many did not live to see it. They encourage the public to reflect on past mistakes and make positive change for a better future. To end the news, a recap of some of the major stories. We brought to you that the Speaker, Gombe State House of Assembly, Abubakar Mohamed Legore, warmly felicitated with Gombe people of Gombe State and Nigerians at large on the occasion of the New Year 2026. We also brought to you that the former governor of Zamfara, Senator Abdulaziz Yari, has joined thousands to mourn the loss of 7 journalists in a tragic accident in Gombe State. And finally, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has declared that 2026 marks the beginning of more robust phase of economic growth for Nigeria. That is the news on 25 Dex. My name is Ibrahim Tal. Stand by for the Hausa version.